welcome to round one Pointscore Series 2025. I hope I've got that right, John Sunde.
Certainly
It's a bit of a
is
lonely
2025.
room tonight, just like it was on Tuesday night. The commentators, they're away at the Tour Down Under. It was left to those who realised that to be at the Tour Down Under, first you have to be racing and winning at Heffron. So as a result, I've never won at Heffron, so I'll never be at the TDU. John, you deserve to be there, but you're probably a few years past your racing best. So it's just John and myself tonight to wrap up at a rather interesting, I think, round one point score series. And if all the previous years have shown, it's in every round, it is important to pick up points because you never know when we'll suddenly lose a round or two. So, John, how does it feel to be back for 2025?
Well, Alexi, very, very quiet tonight. I can't, I can't hear all that noise in the background. Actually, it was very quiet on the finishing straight too on Tuesday night. I was on commentating duties while you were racing, and I had plans to race, but when none of our commentators turned up, all too busy at the TDU. Good on you guys, but they most probably deserve a break. It was very interesting night's racing. This is our 40th, not only our 40th season, but this is our 40th point score series, and we've had some illustrious names win this over the years. And like you said, it's very important to get those early points. And the man who got them on Tuesday night was Kurt Eather, and impressively so.
That's right. I mean, we look at the race. It was a race that essentially was wrapped up with about 4 or 5 laps to go. A rather impressive ride by A grade to get through a pretty well-oiled machine in B grade, who had wrapped up C fairly easily, I think, when you'd kind of look at the times and how the race was being raced. B grade only had a very short period of time at the front before C grade caught the remaining B and C on the pimple with about 3 or 4 to go. And from there, it was just a battle of the sprinters. And it was indeed Kurt Eather getting ahead, the win ahead of Scott Law, Brad Mills, and last year's point score champion, and I think previous year as well, going for the three-peat, Jack Bennett in fourth. So
Yeah.
he'll certainly be ruining that
Still picks
result.
still picks up 2 points, and they could prove very important. But also interestingly, just going back to that catch at 4 to go, let's remember that Edwin Britz was doing his damnedest to get off the front, and he had taken a couple of big raiders with him. There's a good photo from Rich Scriven in his gallery that shows Edwin full noise coming over the pimple, and Rolando de Latz sitting on his
That's
wheel,
right.
just
I loved it.
hanging on. And I saw Rolly this morning. We rode, and I said, Rolly, why didn't you just go with Edwin on Tuesday night? Oh, we lost a couple of big graders, but it was too much power.
I
So too
like the
much
fact
power for
that
Rolly.
Rowley wasn't just saving himself for that last 500 meters. He thought, look, it's only round one. I'll roll the dice, see how I go off the front. I don't think he finished just a result of
No,
that
he
effort,
did
did
it
he?
in the
He
end. Yeah,
did it
no, Micah, his swan
completely.
year, personal swan year, Mike O'Reilly was there on hand, I think, with the last lap to give him a bit of a face wash, which is pretty good service from Mike O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Well done, Mike. And I just want to say that Mike's one of our biggest supporters on Tuesday night. Just love his passion and commitment. Because when he's not in Belgium, you know where he is. He's at Heffron on a Tuesday night.
I think, before we go through the race, I mean, this year, the point score series, obviously, when you get on the podium or you are a top placer in your grade, you'll collect points to try and become the overall. So there's an overall series champion, and then there are also the grade champions. And I think later on we'll talk about who we think will win each grade. But obviously, the overall is the most important. And the last 2 years, that's been won by one only Mr. Jack Bennett. Prior to that, I think it was Scott Law.
Yeah,
Uh,
Scotty Law the year before that, and then the 3 years prior to that, Jack Bennett. So
so he's won it
Jack's on
five
his
times.
He's won it 5 times, not quite as many as, of course, the King of Heffron. They don't call him the King for nothing. He's won it 9 times, I think. But yeah, Jack's on on his second three-peat if he pull it off this year. And you'd have to think that on Tuesday night's form, Kurt's the danger man for him. But then, of course, we know that Kurt may not be there every week for the next 9 races.
That's right. So Kurt Eather has never actually won the Pointscore Series, even if he may be one of the quickest out there because of his inability to turn up every week. But if he can win every week he can turn up, I'm thinking it's going to be pretty tough for Jack because Scotty Law will just also seems to be in the form of his life. He'll almost become this like pantomime villain for Jack because he'll just be pinching points here and there and everywhere. And every time that Jack needs a second and he ends up third, he'll be thinking Scotty Law. Or perhaps we're ignoring the monument champion, Brad Mills, as well.
Well, there's only one person that can go for the double. And just quickly, let's remind everybody that the second monument of the season is the Joseph Sunde Anthony Spurgeon Senior Memorial Races. So that's not next week, it's the week after. I think it's Tuesday, February the 4th. So next week will be round 2 of the summer series, and we have a week off in the summer series and have the memorial races, which is always a great night and a big night at Heffron. And Brad Mills up for the double and got the form to pull it off too, I reckon.
So to earn either the respect or the anger of the Bennett family, do you think Jack can do it again this year? What do you think? I know he's been putting in the Ks over Christmas. He's back on form now. He's done his build up. I think this will be the toughest of his years to think win overall.
Will be, but if he can scramble his ZCC teammates around him, because we had a few missing on Tuesday night, biggest engine of all, of course, Mick Cupid wasn't there. Big Jeff Rickards, he wasn't there either. But he can scramble them around him over the next week and pick up valuable points. He's still a big threat. Don't write Jack off just because of his 4th place and 2 points on Tuesday night.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, look, it'd be amazing if he can go the 3-peat, but I think it's also great that you've got Eather, Mills, and also Scotty Law, who could potentially be danger men for the overall series.
And let's not write off Tommy Bolton either. But maybe the reason Jack ended up 4th on him because I know his father Grant wasn't there on Tuesday night. And of course, when Grant turns up, Grant always reckons that, he always wins when I turn up. So Grant, get yourself down there next Tuesday.
And then if you then move to the other grades, the B and C, I thought the interesting and it hurt C grade on Tuesday night was a number of riders who were riding C grade before Christmas have decided to promote themselves up to B grade because they've done all the Ks, they've done all the training. I'm thinking Nico Love. There's a couple also from Randwick who, top of my head, names escape me, but they went up before almost collecting the early points in the C grade competition and getting themselves perhaps a chance of winning an overall jersey, because in a grade like C grade, it only takes 1 or 2 wins and you can almost nail it.
That's right.
Interesting that they went up early season. I mean, certainly also impacts Binks to win.
Nico won his C grade race just before Christmas. It was his first one. We've been in a few podiums, and he started in B grade. I think he might have had a mechanical on Tuesday night. But you're right about
young Harvey went up as well. I know
Harvey went up. Harvey's got national junior or state junior titles this weekend, so he's prepping for that. But you're right. They perhaps have giving up the opportunity of a grade win. And what happens in the lower grades, you get more. There is a bigger variation of winners each week, whereas in the higher grades, the winners are more predictable each week.
That's right. So, I think, wow, they took a big gamble, but look, good luck to them. Although I must admit, I wanted them all to stay in C grade because it just means they've got a greater chance because, look, it's only week 1, but they, I think, will be stage hunting. Certainly, there'll be stage hunters there, I think, in C grade going forward in future weeks. I think that's the best way to frame it. I think people won't be looking for the overall. They've gone from being the dominant quick step of the old in the classics to now just being stage hunters, just riders going 1s and 2s.
Israel Premier Tech type riders like
exactly. We'll have to get everyone wearing Wilder kits in C grade, just so we be in all the breakaways. There's just some guy randomly going off the front, just getting some quality airtime.
talking about stage hunters, so we're on the start line. We had 90 entrants on Tuesday night, which week one during the two down under week, I thought was pretty impressive. And then at 10 to 6, the Schofield twins decide to turn up. Yeah, good on you, Luke. Good on you, Jaden. Just leave it to the last minute, why don't you? But notwithstanding that, they signed on, got their numbers in plenty of time, and started in B grade. And they were always going to be a dominant force in B grade. And I didn't think it was any surprise that Luke took out B grade and top 10 too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's hard as well when they're both racing because you think there's one of them is always on the front. You're just like, well, who is it?
That's right.
And they certainly did plenty of work, so that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, they
And
did. They
then
were very dominant. Yeah.
that's right. And we're also joined by the new Australian under-23 national criterium champion of Keira Will, also the silver medalist from the nationals.
Yeah, from
So
the elite women's under 23 silver medalist and gold under 23. Sorry, say that again because it's important. The elite women's silver medalist and the gold under 23 women's criterium champion for 225. And great to see Keira back to club racing Tuesday night where it all matters.
And it was fantastic to watch that race over in Perth, watching Keira. She
Oh,
basically raced it like a Heffron. It was the
great.
corners, it was the diving around that led her to have such a memorable victory. She even got a bit of time, a bit of solo time there at the end as she crossed the line. So it's fantastic to have seen her journey as well from when she started there to what she's accomplished now. It's fantastic for all of racing.
And there's there's no surprises in if you can win at Heffron. It's a very true saying because you only have look at the careers of Cav. He started his career at Heffron. He went on to be the most stage winner in the tour. In fact, I was looking at all the starters in the tour down under this week, and I see we got a couple of Heffron starters. Jay Vine, he raced at Heffron, came down one night about 4 or 5 years ago with Chris Miller. Didn't finish, I might add. Found a photo of him sitting on the back of the bunch, hanging on for dear life. And of course, Geraint Thomas, he's another international superstar who started his career at Heffron.
And again, I don't think has won a Heffron either. He didn't win that night, did he? No.
No. Spurge most probably beat him.
Probably. Look, he'd beat anyone. So I think overall, then we go to our biggest announcement. And look, you can win the Pointscore Series, but the question is, can you win a Char-Grill Charlie's Rider of the Week award? Because that is almost the tougher one because that is on Tuesday night, you were against 90 other riders. I'll actually go first. Maybe something new for 2025.
Did we get a phone in from Crafty?
Well, I don't think Benny Coates one vote. So one vote for Ben Coates, even though he didn't race, but the sheer fact that he supports the sport gives Crafty thought was worthy of a vote. No, for me, I looked at second place in C grade, second female over the line, Emma Jeffcoat, I thought was my rider of the night. She did an absolute mountain of work in her grade. And she was riding from the very beginning. In fact, I think she almost sounds like she's dialed in, actually. Can you hear her speaking now? Are you getting that voice, or is that just me?
No, it's just you.
Okay. I'm getting some weird voice. The internet, obviously someone's joined our meeting in my background. But no, she rode fantastic. Well done, Emma. Throughout the entire race, she was a workaholic. She was. I think she was the best rider in C grade. Schofields, like we said, were probably expected. And then there's the usual big guns in A grade. So for me, it was Emma Jeffcoat, week one rider, Char-Grill Charlie's.
Good pick, Alexis. The only rider that came to mind for me was Pongsak. He finally got a C grade win.
Is that his first?
Yeah, he's been third. He's been second. He's always sort of in there somewhere in the top 5. So he rolled across the line at the back of the main bunch.
Hands in the air.
So I was very happy for him, and he was very happy. You only had to see his big grin when he collected his envelope. But I'm going to go with Sorry.
Did he know he'd won Seagrade? Because he can
Uh,
often come across the line pretty
yeah, he gets a bit.
emphatic.
He can get a bit. I think. Yeah, I think he was. I think he was pretty confident when he came across the line. He was certainly smiling if you look at the finish line video. So I thought he impressed me. But I'm going to go with your pick too, Emma. A second in C grade. She's got points in the C grade comp already. So Emma, please come back. We've got 9 more races in the series. You've got a head start, and yeah, I'm going with your pick on the basis that she was one of the stronger riders, never far from the front, and put in the whole race.
That's right. So congratulations, Emma Jeffcoat. You are our Chargirl Charlie's
Yeah,
rider
drumsticks
of
coming
the
your
week.
way, Emma.
Drumsticks
Don't know whether
coming
you like
your way.
drumsticks or wings, but
Actually, just
come
going
drumsticks.
back though to Pongsak there. I mean, look, he is a rider that he could get the whole nation of Thailand behind him. Because I was thinking, like, no one really likes the new king of Thailand, and so
That's right.
they need a new
Yeah,
national hero, and that
yeah,
could be him. And
yeah.
they love those. You
Could
go to
get it. Could
Thailand,
get a national holiday in
they love a
Thailand.
big
Bombset.
painting and a big mural of people. And so I think Pongsak, if he keeps riding the way he was, and they know the importance of Heffron Park, he could become a bit of a big deal. He
He
could be
certainly
like
could.
Tom Yum salad, bang, there you go. It'll also be, I'll get the Pongsak special. So I've got big hopes for Pongsak. He'll be there, exactly. Sade sticks, spring rolls, the Pongsak special. He is a good man. I love seeing him race every week. I'd love if he even rolled a turn.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
he's doing brilliant.
But I thought, all in all, Alexi, what a great first night. We had a good night. It was quite windy. That northeasterly was quite fresh. Kept everybody honest. Good racing, incident free. Great to see everybody back for the new year. Shout out to the team from East Cycling who were back into the swing of things after the Christmas break, getting the track ready. Yeah, all good. It was fantastic, and certainly looking forward to how the season's going to unfold and how those points are going to, change over as the season unfolds.
And so week 2 entries are open, John, over on Bonchier. I
Certainly are.
assume they'll be up. Well, at least by the
Yeah, I
time
think.
I open
Yeah,
up finish
yep.
this editing, it will be. So you've got
Yep.
Australia Day to rest up, recover, hit Heffron hard, very big for a week 2 because it's now or never. Now's the time to start collecting your points, get your
Get those
experience,
early points.
use that RAFA 500Ks or week. Your K's in your legs now. There is no excuse not to be at Heffron Park on a Tuesday night for 6 p.m. I think Spurge last lap. Anything else to offer?
Just another reminder: next week, round 2, and then the week after that, the 2 memorial races, which make for the second monument of the season.
Brilliant. So until then, Sydney City Skoda Pointscore Series. Congratulations, Kurt Eather. Oh, before we wrap up, I will do the overall podiums on the night. So let's think we had first over the line, Kurt Eather, followed by Scott Law, then Brad Mills. First B grader across the line was Luke Schofield, followed by Riyadh Agnache from Randwick, followed by Luca Zaccati. Oh, so he was third. God, he's still on the podium every
Still on the
week,
podium.
but no paycheck.
Oh no, but no, he does get a paycheck, which is a good time to mention. He got a $30 voucher, so all the place getters in the grades for the whole Skoda City Skoda Summer Series get a $30 voucher from our very good friends at Cash. So
There we
no food on
go.
the table with cash, but maybe he's helping his parents out by not having to ask them for money to go online shopping, so he can use his $30 voucher. I don't know what you're going to buy for $30 at Cash, Luca, but
Mate, the
keep
way he's
saving those
riding, he'll
vouchers up.
he'll have $1,000 to spend there in just a few weeks. So he did
Buy a new frame.
fantastic. C grade was Ponsac Sirion. Second place, Emma Jeffcoat, and third was Gareth Collins over Randwick.
Yeah,
So
another good ride by Gareth.
very good rise. And our first female over the line was Keira Wills. So congratulations to her. Congratulations to all the riders who were there. Thanks to our volunteers. And until then,
now I can stick my thumbs up.
yeah, you can.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.